Assalamu alaikum. Hi, hello everyone. It's me Zainab Maman. So Aisha, can you let me know am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, Zainab.
Okay. So currently I'm serving as a program director at CS Cooking Global Foundation. It's a truly pleasure to welcome you all to the International Women's Day Conference 2026. Today, today we came together to celebrate the strength, resilience, and achievement of women from around the world. This conference is not only a celebration but also a platform for learning, sharing experiences, and inspiring one another to create a meaningful change in our communities and careers. Through powerful discussion, diverse perspectives, and collaborative ideas, we aim to empower women to lead with confidence, embrace opportunities, and support one another in the building a more inclusive and equitable future. So, thank you so much, everyone, for being here and for being part of this inspiring 4 weeks journey. So, let's make today a moment of connection, empowerment, and collective growth. So, as we move forward, I would like to take a moment to reflect on the journey of Yes You Can Global Foundation. Since Since it's from 2018, the foundation has completed 8 years of meaningful impact, driven by a commitment to youth empowerment, leadership development, and sustainability. These years represent not just time but conscious efforts toward creating opportunities, building capacities, and shaping future leaders. The journey from 2018 to 2026 reflects growth, learning, and belief in the potential of young people. At the heart, at the heart of Yes You Can Global Foundation lies a powerful vision, creating the world of leader. This vision goes beyond title or position. It focuses on nurturing individuals who are confident, socially responsible, and equipped to lead change in their communities, workplace, and industries. Every initiative undertaken in the foundation align with this purpose of a building leadership at every level. Yes, you can global foundation work across key focuses area, including youth development, empowerment, and sustainability. The foundation believes that when young people are provided with the right guidance, skills, and exposure, they become powerful agent of a change. By integrating sustainability and empowerment into its program, the foundation ensures that the impact is not just immediate but the long lasting. Yes, you can global foundation have a global reach with like it's in almost 300 plus countries. We have a conduct multiple programs and it was on site and virtual. We have a more than 2000 plus fellowship participants and certified trainers and experts. With that, we have the global ambassadors, we have the active members more than 500 plus, and we have a speakers engaged from a 30 different countries and 100 plus. So, funding and Yes You Can Global Foundation is 100% self-sustained fee-free platform. Over the years, Yes You Can Global Foundation has launched multiple programs aimed at career readiness, leadership development, personal growth, and social impact. Each program is designed with a practical approach combining mentorship, skill building, and a real world exposure. These initiatives have helped participants gain clarity, confidence, and direction in their academic and professional journey. So we have not when the Yes You Can Global Foundation was started, it was only on-site trainings and workshop. But now we are totally virtual platform. With that, we have the global engagement with the 70,000 plus youth empowered globally. And as I already mentioned, it is in 30 plus countries. Program delivered online, on site, recorded, and the founders' global engagement. You can see that ma'am Sanam has represent Yes You Can Global Foundation on the multi-plate platforms in collaboration with different organizations. She was delegated for best and also The fellows reflection, with that we have the speakers reflections and message. The impact of Yes You Can Global Foundation is best reflected through the individual and communities it has touched. Through its program, it has enabled people to discover their professional communities. So, the International Women's Conference series is a continuous of this 8-year mission. See, the and Yes You Can Global Foundation moves forward, the commitment remains strong to continue empowering youth, expanding opportunities, and extending the leadership pathways. With every new cohort and new initiative, the foundations move one step closer to its vision of creating a world where the young people are confident, capable, and prepared to lead. So, now, if you we all got to know about the Yes You Can Global Foundation, its initiatives. So, the Women Venture. It's a truly honor for me to welcome you all today as we highlight an initiative that is dedicated to transforming life, empowering leaders, and building inclusive communities. So, Women Ventures serves as a comprehensive economic and leadership platform designed to empower women entrepreneurs and emerging leaders through a powerful integration of professional training, strategic business consulting, mentorship, and access to capital. The initiatives aim to break systematic barriers that often prevent women from achieving their full potential in business and leadership. As a certified community development financial institute, Women Venture focuses on equipping undeserving founders and change makers with the tools, resources, and technical foundation they need to build sustainable enterprises and creating long-lasting impact. By fostering a strong ecosystem of mentorship, collaboration, and market visibility, Women Venture ensures that women lead ensure initiatives not only launch successfully but also thrive, creating economic independence, leadership opportunities, and meaningful job creation within the communities. Over the time, Women Venture has proudly recognized and supported several impactful programs and global initiatives dedicated to the women empowerment, youth leadership, and community transformation. One of our flagship events is the Empowering Women Leaders Summit and Awards, where we celebrated 100 women from grassroots to global level. This event brought together inspiring women leaders, innovators, change makers who are driving progress across industries and communities. This summit provided a platform for dialogue, recognition, and collaboration among leaders who are shaping a more equitable and inclusive world. So, another initiative was the International Women's Day Women Empowerment Session, where we celebrate the achievement of women worldwide while discussing leadership equality, opportunities for the next generation of female. Women Venture has also conducted a self care and personal development workshop recognized that empowerment is not only about professional success but about mental well-being, resilience, and personal growth. These workshops focus on helping women build confidence, manage stress, and maintain balance while pursuing their ambition. So, with that, we launched transformative program like the She Nurtures Fellowship designed to support and guide in emerging women leaders through mentorship skills development and collaborative learning experience. We have also hosted initiatives like Mazboot Beti, Mazboot Dunya, Gen Z Global Fellowship. So together these initiatives reflect Women Ventures' commitment to empowering women across generations from grassroots communities to global leadership programs. So, as we continue this journey, we would like to invite each of you to become part of this global movement. There are many ways to contribute and make an impact. Collaborate with us in developing training programs, mentorship, initiatives, and awareness that empower women and youth. Sponsors program that directly supports leadership, development, entrepreneurship opportunity, and community-based initiatives. And most importantly, join our network of change makers who are working together to build a sustainable, inclusive, and equitable future. Because together we can empower youth, transform women's life, and build a generation of capable, confident leaders who will shape the future of our society. So I know for sure you guys must be boring, but it was important to give you all to introduction of women venture, and with that the introduction of Yes You Can Global Foundation. Okay, Aisha, over to you.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Aisha Azim and I am program head at Yes You Can Global Foundation. I will be introducing our CEO, Ma'am Sanam Hussain. It's a very privilege to introduce the visionary behind Yes You Can Global Foundation, Miss Sanam Hussain. Ms. Sanam Hussain is a purpose driven leader with over 20 years of dynamic professional experience, whose journey is rooted in resilience, courage, transformation. She is the first female in seven generations of her family to break barriers and pursue higher education, turning challenges into conviction and limitation into leadership. Having personality experience, obstacles in assessing education, and opportunity, she transformed her journey into a lifelong mission to empower minds, unlock potential, and create access to knowledge and opportunities for all. Her work reflects a deep commitment to social impact, inclusion, and sustainable change. An awardee of Women Impact and Giving Back UK, Miss Sanam Hussain has also been recognized among 100 young influencers of Pakistan. She is a Forbes delegate and social impact leader, a certified change maker, and a trained psychologist. Who will continue to influence global conversation around empowerment, leadership, and human development. She strongly believes in inside out improve improvement, the idea, and when individuals lead themselves with clarity, purpose, and community flourish and society involved. Her philosophy of self leadership, individual social responsibility remains the guiding force behind the vision and impact of Yes You Can Global Foundation, inspiring thousands to rise, lead, and create meaning change. Um, I think Ma'am Sanam will be joining us shortly, so we can move forward, right? We can move
Yes,
to the
I
first
think we should.
speaker.
Let
Okay.
me check if she have joined, Dr. Ranuka.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is Hypnotis Mavish, and I'm working as a program lead in the Yes You Can Global
I'm very
Foundation.
sorry to interrupt you, but like we have to see if she have joined,
Okay,
because if she have joined, then we should introduce her. Otherwise, we have to move on to next one because there are still 10 minutes. Mhm.
not we can go to the second speaker also.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Mustama
Walaikum
Shum
salam.
and I am an outreach head at Yes You Can Global Foundation. By profession, I am an empowerment strategist and a hypnotist, working with best diplomats as a country representative and with Yes You Can Global Foundation as an outreach head. I would like you to introduce our speaker, And it is my pleasure to introduce Sola Magaji, Director of Impact Investments at Nima Capital Limited and Development Finance, and gender equality expert with over 20 years of experience advancing women's economic empowerment across Africa. Her work focuses on supporting women led businesses to access capital scale sustainability and drive transformational change within their communities. Sola has led multi-million dollar development programs across several African countries and has advised government and financial institutions on closing the gender finance gap and building inclusive investments ecosystems, a strong advocate for STEM education and women's leadership. She also mentors young women and champions initiatives that expand opportunities for girls and entrepreneurs. Please join me to welcome Sola Magaji.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, due to some reasons, ma'am is not here to join us. We are moving to the next speaker.
Can we move towards Munazza Hilai?
Yes, she have joined, so I think we should go for that. We
Yes,
would
Okay,
like
okay,
wasting
Athiya,
any
please.
time.
Athiya, I think you should start the introduction.
Atia, you are not audible.
Athiya, please turn on your mic.
Atia, please turn your mic on.
ओके नेट इशू भी था और माइक म्यूट था सॉरी अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन मूव टू द next speaker but first of all introduce myself my name is Atya and I am a project coordinator of Yes You Can Global Foundation. So next speaker is Munazza Elahi. It is my pleasure to introduce Munazza Elahi, Director Marketing, Corporate Communication of the Institute of Cost and Management, Accountant of Pakistan. A passionate leader with a strong growth mindset. Munazza is known for turning challenges into opportunities and driving impactful initiatives through collaboration and innovations. She believes in collaboration through empowering team, creating meaningful impact through leadership and strategic thinking. Her work reflects a commitment to excellence, inspiring professionals to grow, overcome challenges, and achieve success while making a difference. Please join me in welcoming Munazza Ilahi.
Thank you. Thank you, Aisha. And Atya, if you can please pull my PowerPoint presentation. It was shared with Miss Sanam yesterday.
ओके मैम ये कर देती है शेयर
Acha, acha. So should I start or I just wait for the presentation then because everything is aligned with the presentation?
Ma'am, we are sharing your presentation.
Okay, sure.
Ma'am, if it's possible, can you share your screen? Because Ma'am Sanam have any kind of internet issues and we are not able to connect with her, and she haven't shared with us. So if it's like possible, you can share your screen.
Okay, just a minute then. Just give me like 2-3
Uh-huh.
minutes then.
Okay, 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 sure, sure.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah, yeah, we can. It's totally visible, ma'am.
Or in the introduction, I would also like to Assalamu alaikum everyone. So there's one, I think, bit part of my introduction which was missing. So I'm also the focal person with United Nations Women Empowerment Principles from on behalf of ICMA. So that was one of the introduction because it actually like is a good fit for the occasion of the day. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I would like to express my gratitude to the Yes You Can Global Foundation for inviting me for this August forum and giving me an opportunity to listen to the distinguished speakers and gain meaningful insights during the session. So, as we are in a process of celebrating the entire month aligned with the International Women's Day, celebrating, honoring empowerment, leadership, and representation of women across the globe, I would like to take a moment to pay tribute to the women of Gaza, Palestine, for holding the fragments of life together, for showing the world the true meaning of self determination, collective strength, unyielding spirit, moral courage, and the enduring meaning of Samud in the times of genocide. In today's evening, the session, my topic for the evening today is corporate governance, boardroom inclusion, sustainability development goal 8 and 17. So I will be sharing some of my own personal experiences being on the board of two non-for-profits in Canada for 5 years. At the same time, I would also like to examine the boardroom inclusion scenario in Pakistan. So we can start off with our presentation. Boardroom inclusion is not about tokenism. It is about being effective. So the discussion will be more revolving around effectiveness, and boardroom inclusion is a governance issue of high priority these days. So when we talk about boardroom inclusion, it's not about equality between men and women or um, representation in terms of numbers. It is about having effective boards. It's about corporate performance, and it is also social license to operate. As you know, every organization is like, following the ESG standards, environment, social, and global standards. So this is also how the investors, like, global investors would want to push organizations to follow the ESG standards as well. So I served on the board of two non-for-profits in Canada for 5 years, and one was a hybrid board, which had majority of the male members, and the other was a female-only board. So since I had experienced both the governance models, so I can clearly contrast, the different the governance dynamics between the two boards. So what I experienced was that in women-only board, the communication was more open and collaborative. So this fostered an environment of collective trust and inclusivity. Decision making was also very transparent because as members, we used to discuss the topics in detail and used to include different perspectives before reaching to a conclusion. And as women are good listeners, so we used to give time to each other's point of view. And the good thing was that women always came well prepared. The agendas were normally shared like 2 weeks in advance, and we had enough time to prepare ourselves. And this obviously added to our strategic thought and helped in better decision making. And we were all multitasking. So that's another skill of women, that they are good multitaskers, and which helped in achieving our organization goals. And we used to directly at times interact with the volunteers and the teams on the ground, and used to take feedback directly from them, which helped us in incorporating their point of view also in our decision making process. The other striking attribute about women is that they are very good in cultivating social networks. So because of their social skills, social skills, we were able to our social skills contributed towards fundraising, getting in-kind donations, getting access to grants. So in short, the boardroom inclusion and different styles of leadership styles and engagement enhances the quality of board performance. So now if we take the scenario of Pakistan, currently in Pakistan, there are 300,000 firms which are registered with SECP, which is Security and Exchange Commissions of Pakistan. So of these 300,000 firms, majority of the firms, privately held firms, are family-owned firms. So in family-owned firms, most of the women are on the board of directors. They have women on the board of directors. But the primary aim of having women on the board is to safeguard family business interest and to cultivate or forge family relationships. So it is not about inclusion or improving the quality of decision making. It is mostly protecting your own business interests. It is also notable that 78% of KSE 100 index companies, which is Karachi's stock exchange, they lack women representation. And the same is the case with state-owned enterprises, where the representation of women on board is hardly a number to be shared. As per the survey conducted by the Pakistan Business Council, so we have less than 5% of women in top management positions. Women hold 12% of board positions as per Security and Exchange Commission of Pakistan survey. So the global average is 16.9%. 1.8% of positions of CFO are held by women. The global average remains 12.7%, and 1.3% of CEO positions are held by women, and the global average is 4.4%. So we can see there's still a lot of room for progress, and companies and government are obviously working towards that. With efforts of regulators and government, there has been a percentage increase in the female of independent directors. And as per the Code of Corporate Governance, recommends that at least one woman as a non-executive independent member of the board should be on the board of an organization, an independent non-executive. So textile and manufacturing industries have the highest number of female directors, and the reason why textile industry has the highest number of female directors because most of the textile companies and manufacturing concerns are owned by privately held firms. So these are like family concerns, basically. Now, if we compare Pakistan with South Asia and take a comparative, in 2022, Malaysia mandated that all public listed companies should have at least one woman on the board. So because of their if they made a part of they regulated it, so we see the results. Malaysia is leading the game in terms of inclusion and diversity. So the board representation in Malaysia stands 28.5%, followed by Singapore, which is 23, Philippines 21.7, Thailand 19, Pakistan, as I just shared the stats, is 12%, India 17, and Indonesia is 9.7%. So we are obviously moving in the right direction, but it's the movement, it's very gradual, and we need to take some solid steps and changing the environment and making it more conducive for women to take up leadership positions. But if you see overall, the representation on the board has increased from 17.1% in 2021 to 19% in 2023 in Southeast Asia. The other remarkable, stride, or which is that women are making strong inroads in audit committees, which was never earlier before, which is a good positive sign because inclusion of women in audit committees not only improves board performance but also enhances the financial foresight. So there was a global study conducted in 2018, which established a positive correlation between board inclusion and financial performance. So the financial performance is obviously measured through returns on investment and debt to equity ratio. Another employee reviews and sentiment scores, through employee reviews and sentiment scores, we also establish a positive correlation between job satisfaction and job security and overall performance in an organization when women are placed in senior management positions and in leadership roles. So we see that there is a very positive case for having more women in representing in senior positions and overall in board positions. Now, due to as organizations are adopting sustainability development goals, they're also navigating the cultural and structural challenges in the process. So if we take the case of Pakistan, then Pakistan is challenged with the framework. It has a framework of weak legal institutions, and it is a patriarchal society. And the women are challenged. The barriers for women in senior positions or in professional environments is the general hardcore perceptions and the systemic constraints which are built in the system. So these stereotypes includes that women lack business acumen. They are overly emotional to make sound business decisions. They can't strike a balance between personal lives and professional lives. They are risk averse. And there's a general perception that there's a dearth of professional qualified women. And this perception generally stems from the deep-rooted perceptions, the barriers which are in our institutions, in our professions, in our society, and this is called the choking effect or the pipeline problem, where women, because of the societal pressure, because of the barriers in the institutions to move them to senior management positions, they don't appear on the in the databases or in positions where they need to be hired for senior positions. Most of the organizations in Pakistan and in general, they think that inclusion or diversity is a compliance or a regulatory matter, and it's not a matter of value addition. So that thinking also needs to be changed. The other issue is the golden skirts phenomena, that most of the time it's a tendency that you are hiring the same women again and again, over and over for the same position, for different board positions. So because of this tendency, obviously, a lot of women, they don't get a chance of representation. There's another issue of intersectionality gap. So when we talk of diversity, we have to talk of diversity as a whole. So it has to be the board needs to be diverse in terms of ethnicity. The board has to be diverse in terms of religious views. The board has to represent the communities and the markets they serve. So we do experience that intersectionality gaps also. But all is not lost. There's still a lot of progress which is happening. A lot of initiatives have been taken by the government, the regulators, the trade and business associations and companies in their own capacities are also trying to make a conducive environment where women can lead senior positions in the organizations. So there has been a deliberate effort for mentoring, for launching mentoring and coaching programs for women. Women are encouraged to take certifications, to be a certified board directors. There has been a concentrated effort to bring about to create a database of potential and existing women who are serving as board members, so as to give them more visibility and access to boardroom positions. So I would like to thank the Pakistan Institute of Corporate Governance because they have played a pivotal role in giving us visibility. As I mentioned, because of transparency and accountability, a lot of organizations have to give information about the inclusion and diversity in their organizations as part, and this is now, these disclosures are now part of the annual reports also. ESG standards, as I mentioned earlier, environment, social, and governance standards. Global investors are pushing organizations to adopt ESG standards and include diversity in their organizations and in their boardrooms as well. So what I believe is that the responsibility lies with all of us. So responsibility is not just with the government or the regulators or the organizations in isolation. So all of us, who are like professionals or leadership positions or even advocates of good governance, we must uh, keep on doing our efforts and raise our voice for inclusive leadership for women, for capable women, and even underrepresented voices. Because the idea of diversity is that everyone should be included from our communities, from our markets. And when we talk of corporate governance, it is not just about rules and policies. It is about, like, how we shape diversity in our decision making. So my own, while ending the session, I would like to stress that we should keep on organizing these forums. We should keep on talking about inclusion and diversity, and we should always like try to work together to remove barriers which are like creating an impediment for women to advance into senior positions and in leadership roles. Thank you so much from my end.
It's really a pleasure, Munazza, listening to you. Here, I have a question: that what kind of efforts our youth can do this kind of activity and to improve their levels and standards to reach the positions that are high on the top of the uh, companies and become the CEO uh, or achieving the executive levels.
So I am also, since I'm working at the Institute of Cost and Management Accountants, I also want to tell you what the institution is. So we are a regulatory body for the profession of management accountants in Pakistan.
मैंने बात नहीं करनी
So
है ना मिला ये इसको ले जाओ मैंने बात नहीं करनी मैंने ऑप्शन को मैंने
mute. Okay. So I was saying that since I'm serving as Director Marketing and Corporate Communication at ICMA, the Institute of Cost and Management Accountants is a regulatory body for the profession of management accountants. So at the moment, we have 17,000 plus students enrolled with us. And our presence is in 12 cities, or we have a nationwide presence with our campuses present in 12 cities in Pakistan. So what we are doing is that we are giving a lot of professional trainings and uh, 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 and coaching and mentoring sessions to our students to upgrade their skills, because most of the time they have technical skills but they lack like communication skills. They like skill, they at times they lack skills to even discuss topics which are outside their scope, which is strictly like academic or educational. So we do give them those skills, like the grooming skills, the interviewing skills, the communication skills. So these are very important. And my, I think youth of today is what I find them is they have a level of curiosity. So what is very important for us as a whole, not just youth, all of us, we should all stay curious. So it is very important to question, to like to know more, not to just accept things as what they are. We should challenge things also, because this is how we innovate, this is how we bring new ideas, and this is how we also break the barriers within us. Because most of the time, when we are doing the same things, even in the organizations, when you're doing the same thing over a certain period of time, we get used to it, and there's a monotony which, like, obviously takes over us. But we should always try to, be in uncomfortable situations. So whenever you think that you are, just quite relaxed, and you are just, sailing through, I mean, you are very comfortable, just break that being, try to be uncomfortable also. Because if you're uncomfortable, you will learn new things, you will challenge yourself. Don't just, and our focus most of the time, the youth, obviously, the times, economic times are very challenging. A lot of the students, when they come to us, the first thing they ask is, about their jobs, about job security, how much starting salary they will get. With jobs, we will be doing our job, we will be getting employment for sure. But the point is that we should position ourselves for, our own personality development. So we should not just be focused that, job is, this is the only goal in life. We have to, really cultivate our minds, which can think differently, which can challenge the norms, which can come up with new ideas. And the best thing for, I think, students is to be the entrepreneurs. Try to come up with startups. Even if they fail, is fine. This is how everyone starts. And try to be innovators, not just like seeking jobs. So this is my, suggestion, that just keep on challenging yourself and keep on learning.
Thank you so much, Melissa. It was really a powerful speech that we hear, and inshallah, it will motivate a lot of people in this chat.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Vanessa, for giving your precious time. I know today, like, ma'am is not here, unfortunately, due to some reason. But thank you so much for patience and being here. So thank you so much again, on behalf of ma'am and Yes You Can Global Foundation. Okay, so anyone have a question?
Okay. Yes, anyone wants to raise the question?
Yes, like someone have raised hand.
Okay.
Mobina, yes, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, Mobina.
First of all, thank you so much, Manaza, for giving such a thoughtful and insightful feedback and reflection, especially on this very occasion. I'm Mubina. By profession, I'm a sociologist, and being a social scientist, we look at the things in a very different way. We look at the things especially from the lens of the people. And I would like to appreciate this platform that brings the global voices together. And I truly appreciate the concerned members who are going to organize such kind of platforms that encourages the collaboration and the meaningful social impact. And it's really an honor. I am literally learning from the very beginning of the session, uh, because it's totally dedicated to empowering the women and to strengthen the communities. And my question here is that how the global initiatives ensure the meaningful participations of the women from marginalized and the undeserved communities, how we can ensure the inclusion rather than the limiting engagement to the already privileged groups. So, is there any sustainable model that is there to help bridge this gap between the global empowerment programs and the women living in, especially the remote areas or the marginalized areas, who often lack the access to education, access to the technology, and access to the network? So, thank you so much for taking me on board.
Ji, Muniba, it's a very pertinent question.
Mubina,
So,
sorry, Mubina.
sorry, Mubina. The thing is that any
Mubina.
movement, Mubina, Ji.
Yes,
Mubina,
Mubina.
any movement or any effort is all what we can do from our end is always there's always a grassroots movement. So you can't just depend on organization and institutions alone. So if I give you my own example, in Canada, I was on the board of non-for-profit, the female-only board. The organization was North Shore Women's Center. So that organization specifically was working for women of that particular locality. So the area was North Shore, North Vancouver, and the challenges, all those women were underrepresented women. So let me also clarify, most of the time we think that the issues of women in Pakistan or like elsewhere around the world are different. No, the issues are mostly the same. All of us are constrained by societal pressures and the fact that everywhere, obviously male has an upper hand, whether it's West or whether it's like, a rest of the global South. What we can do is we can just amplify their voices, and we can just try to be part of those non-for-profit organizations or communities where these underrepresented voices are present. So what we do normally in Pakistan, how we our first reaction is, okay, it's the government's headache. Why should I bother myself helping someone or amplifying her voice? No, this is also my my responsibility as a social being, and this is my civic responsibility also. So if you talk about underrepresented women, so if you have some staff in your obviously in your organization, or if you have some staff in your own home, we can all volunteer and try to educate them. Why can't we do that? Why can't we all turn our own homes, our own drawing rooms or restrooms are just lying idle entire day, and turn them into like small learning environments for these kids which are around us. We see a lot of kids just selling like stuffs. They are vendors there. Why don't we just ask them to come? We can give them 2 3 hours and volunteer ourselves. We can start from our own homes. I know a lot of my own in friend circle. They had just started a school from their garage, and they're doing so well now. I mean, we all have the empowerment tools. We don't have to just rest ourselves the responsibility on the government or the big corporations, or most of the time the question arises that we need a lot of resources. No, we don't need a lot of resources. We need need our own strengths. Like if I am educated, I can pass on that education. Or most of the time we just think that giving them just some sort of money is the end of the solution. No, like that money will not last them, is just going to buy them some stuff to survive. But what we can pass on are these skills. So
Okay,
Pakistan,
here
we
I
have
would like
TEFRA.
to say that please cut this to a really short answer so that we can give
Okay,
opportunities
so
to
we
other
should start
speakers.
from first step is that we should start transmitting knowledge or whatever skills we have to other people, and this is how we empower them.
Thank you so much, Munazza and Muniba, for a really good question. I think we have to move towards the next speaker. Aisha, please introduce.
Hasama, are you there to introduce? Or should I go for that?
I think.
Okay, so
Good morning. Is it me?
yeah, is it you? We were waiting for you.
Okay.
Good
Yay.
morning.
Okay, Sama is going to introduce you, then you can start your.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Hustama Shimroz. Am I audible to you all?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes, you
Sama.
are.
We have been we have been connected to each other since long. I am an empowerment strategist by profession, and today I'm going to introduce Sola Magaji. It is my pleasure to introduce Sola Magaji. I am an outreach head in Yes You Can Global Foundation, and it is my immense pleasure to introduce Sola Magaji, Director of Impact Investments at Nima Capital Limited, and a development finance and gender equality expert with over 20 years of experience advancing women's economic empowerment across Africa. Her work focuses on supporting women led businesses to access capital, scale sustainability, and drive transformational change within their communities. Solas has led multi-million-dollar development programs across several African countries and has advised governments and financial institutions on closing the gender finance gap and building inclusive investment ecosystems. A strong advocate for STEM education and women leadership, she also mentors young women and champions initiatives that extend opportunities for girls and entrepreneurs. Please join me in welcoming Sola Magaji. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning to all the amazing women in the room. And I see there are also a few men here to support us. Thank you for this gathering. Thank you very much for the organizers of this program for the privilege of addressing this audience. And as we continue to celebrate Women's Month, it's important we continue to have these conversations. It's important we continue to discuss these topics that are relevant to us. I think, like somebody asked the last speaker, how do we reach the grassroots women? It's by these conversations is one of the ways, because the more we discuss, the more we put the message out there, the better it trickles down to all the women wherever they may be. So I'm going to share my screen and start with my presentation. If I can find it. Sorry, just a minute. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, we
Yes.
can see.
Okay, so this morning I'm talking about advancing women's equality through justice, economic, and digital inclusion. And why is it important that we discuss this? Why are we actually discussing women's inclusion? Why are we discussing women's equality? It's because it drives sustainable development. You cannot develop a nation, you cannot develop a people if you leave 50% of the population behind. Because according to statistics, women make up to approximately 50% of the world's population. And don't let anybody tell you different. There are a lot of conversations. People say, oh, there are more women than men. That's why women are always looking for husbands, or there are more men than women. I mean, this is simple mathematics. If you give birth to a child, you have a 50% probability of it being a boy or a girl. So the numbers are going to tend towards 50-50. So we can't drive sustainable development if we leave half of the population behind. Studies have shown that closing the gender gap could add trillions to the world economy. A lot of us, I think most of us here are from developing countries, but from countries that are seeking economic growth. Empowering our women could add to the economic prosperity of our nations. And in fact, research has shown that countries with higher gender equality have more prosperous populations. So it's important that we continue to fight for equality. And we remain underrepresented in economic spaces, financial spaces, in digital spaces, in governance and leadership spaces. Women are highly underrepresented in those spaces, in those sectors, which means that the decisions being made for those sectors or out of those sectors, the policies being enacted in those sectors are not speaking to the needs of women. And that's why a lot of these problems persist. And women's equality is necessary for the prosperity of future generations. Studies have shown that when a woman is educated, when a woman is financially independent, she's more likely to send her children to school. She's more likely to spend the money on her family. So that means the children's welfare are more protected when women are empowered and when women have equality. So we're looking at digital inclusion, justice inclusion, and economic inclusion. And these three, they all reinforce each other. They go hand in hand, and you can't have one without having the other. So we need the three of them to actually achieve women's equality and inclusion. So for justice for women, over the years, significant progress has been made in, enacting laws, universal treaties, universal declarations, national laws to protect the rights of women, even to provide women with equal opportunities and access. But one of the major challenges is many of those laws are not being enforced and implemented appropriately. Many of those laws are not being implemented properly. And one of the reasons is low female representation in our judicial spaces, in our government spaces, in law enforcement agencies, in legal places. We also have cultural barriers, which discourage reporting, which also continue to reinforce some of the negative issues that these laws were enacted to address. In fact, some of the main, the patriarchy actually depends on women to continue to enforce the status quo. So we women ourselves, a lot of times we're even the ones reinforcing some of these things in our private spaces. You see the way mothers-in-law treat their daughters-in-law, the way sisters-in-law treat their sister-in-law, the way wives treat their mother-in-law, the way you treat the female relatives in your family. Do we speak, even as a woman, do we speak up in some of these instances? The way you treat the women you work with in the office, the women in your neighborhood, the women you meet around, how do you treat them? Do you also in your own space, your own personal space, fight for inclusion and equality? Because a lot of these things are being reinforced culturally and socially. And where we do have agency and we do have voice, it's important that we speak up while we also wait for the system for systemic change. There's also institutional biases. So a lot of these laws and policies still depend on people, on human beings to implement and enforce. But if the policeman who's supposed to enforce the law is biased against women or believes women should behave in a certain way, and then you go to report your case to him, you're not going to get justice. You're not going to get fair attention. Your case is not going to be handled properly. If the lawyers or the prosecutor, who's also supposed to handle your case, also feels, don't know, why are you making trouble? You're just being a troublesome woman, or the judge feels, no, women are not meant to be doing this. The way they will interpret and implement the law might not be in the spirit in which the law is intended. So that's why we're saying it's important we get more and more women into these spaces so that these laws can reflect our needs, our desires, our wants. So some of the legal barriers that affect women in various places, restrictions on land ownership. In many cultures, even though, like, let me say Nigeria, even though by law, there's no restriction on women owning land by law in Nigeria, but in many of our cultures, women are not allowed to own land. Women do not inherit property from their fathers because they're like, oh, you've gone to your husband's house, so you're not meant to inherit property. So if you don't inherit property, how are you supposed to get property, right? How do women own property? They're not allowed to inherit. Even some places, they will say they're not even going to sell land to a woman. So how does the woman own property? And that affects women's economic participation, which we'll discuss later. I've talked about inheritance rights. Even in divorce and property access, when in many places, when a woman divorces a man, she leaves the home empty-handed. You've been married to a man, you've helped him build a life, you've sacrificed but everything that you guys own, at the end of the day, when there's a separation, it's deemed the man's property. Everything belongs to the man, and the woman lives empty-handed and has to start building from scratch again. So this also reinforces women's poverty and women's lack of property and lack of wealth. So, like I've said, we need to increase the number of women in judiciary. We need to encourage more women to get into the law enforcement, judiciary, litigation, legal spaces. We need to expand women's representation in parliaments. Worldwide, we still have a very low representation of women in parliament. In my country, Nigeria, it's less than 5% women in our parliamentary houses, so we need, parliament is at the either state or council, regional level. Then at the federal level, we need to improve women's participation at all levels of governance and also promote women's leadership of public institutions. We see that globally, the global institutions have made some efforts in this. We have a woman at World Trade Organization. We used to have a woman at IMF. We have deputy UN deputy general secretaries as women, but a lot more needs to be done, especially at the national level. How many women presidents do we have? I think we even have an increased number presently. I think we have Namibia, Tanzania, Mexico, Venezuela. It's improving, but a lot more still needs to be done. We need to get our women into those spaces. Then look at women's economic inclusion. I've talked about how women's equality can boost the prosperity of nations and even globally, how it helps with the family welfare, strengthens the home, presents better outcomes for the children, and it improves economic resilience. I always look at men. If you're a man and your wife is not economically active, you restrict her. Sometimes these things happen by choice. We will look at that as well. But sometimes you purposely restrict your wife from being economically active. It means that you are living dormant, a key resource in your household, a key income generating asset for your household is being held dormant. And who says you're always going to be able to provide? Well, even businesses diversify their income. So why wouldn't a household diversify its income as well? So some of the things that prevents women economic participation. And so before I even go there, we talk a lot about women's economic participation and we talk about the gender pay gap, but a lot less attention is being paid to the wealth gap. There's a significant wealth gap in that men are generally richer than women. If you look at the list of the world's billionaires, there are only very few women there. Very, very few women, and most of them inherited their wealth, although a lot of the men also inherited. And why is this? Why is it that women have a lot less wealth? And why is it important? It's very important because having less wealth means they have less collateral, less collateral, and so that they cannot access credits. Because most times you go to the bank, you want to borrow, the bank asks you for collateral. You don't have collateral, you don't own assets. It also means they have a lot less saved up for retirement. They're less capable of taking care of themselves in retirement. And this is especially crucial because women tend to live longer than men. So it means women are entering retirement with less wealth, but that wealth is meant to last them longer. So the women's wealth gap is something that really needs to be addressed. That's one of the things as somebody that works in impact investments, there's some of the things we are working to address, and also encouraging women to invest more. We save, a lot of women save, but we don't invest. You grow your wealth by investing. So we have limited access to credit. We have lower assets ownership, which I've talked about. And then we have a very high unpaid care work burden, which also restricts our economic activity. So when a man, I think there's time they said Elon Musk was like, people should be working 80 to 100 hours a week. Now, how many women can do that? You have children to take care of. You have your parents. You have your parents-in-law. Anytime somebody falls sick in your husband's family or even your own family, you're the first person they call. Where do you get your 80 to 100? Which I also feel is inhumane. It's inhumane to ask somebody to work for that much, but you can't put the extra hours in the way a man can, right? Because of all this unpaid care work that we do. So this actually restricts our economic participation. Access to finance. Apart from
Sola,
sorry, is my time up?
I would like to say, please, you have to end this in 4 minutes. So please make it
Okay.
short.
All right. Thank you very much. So apart from, when we talk about access to finance, we look a lot about bank loans. We talk a lot about bank loans, but there's also a very large gap in equity financing, in venture capital. So equity financing provides low-cost patient capital to entrepreneurs to grow their businesses. Now, women find it very difficult to access those kind of financing, which means that women-owned businesses remain small. They're limited in their growth. Studies have shown women-led startups receive about less than 5% of VC funding worldwide. We also have limited access to networks. So we're also trying to get more and more women into the financial space, into the venture capital space, into the private equity space, so that more women can access this financing. Other things that we're looking at are being done or need to be done to get more women to participate economically: gender responsive public procurement, government contracts, a large part, we represent a large portion of business activity in every jurisdiction. We need more women to get into that space, to win government contracts. And we're working with governments to put gender responsive public procurement policies in place. We're looking at gender responsive budgeting. How is government spending its money? Is government spending its money in a way that improves the welfare and economic participation of women? And these things are not just at the federal or national level. They also are important at the state, at the municipal, at the local level. These are things that we need to continue to advocate for. And then digital inclusion. The world is becoming increasingly digital. And right here now, this would not have been possible 20 years ago. This event we're holding this morning would not have been possible 20 years ago. And also, it means that any woman who cannot access Zoom cannot be part of this event, right? And so, you cannot be part of this event and other events like this all over the world. And there are thousands of these events going on. But as the world becomes increasingly digital, women are being more and more left behind. And even just the past few years, because this digital space continues to evolve. In the past few years, we've seen the explosion of AI. Before, we were just talking about social media and everything. Now there's AI. Who knows what we'll be looking at in the next few years? So many women continue to lack basic digital skills. Why do they lack these basic digital skills? Digital devices continue to be too expensive and out of reach of women. Remember, we've already said women earn less, women have less wealth. So a lot of women cannot afford these digital devices. A lot of them do not have digital skills. They're not exposed to where they can go and learn these digital skills. And so this continues to leave many, many women behind. And they also means we're not involved in shaping the technologies that are going to define our future. So if we're not shaping part of the people shaping these technologies, it means these technologies are not going to address our needs. And we are in danger of being further left behind. So we continue to advocate for digital literacy programs, affordable internet and devices, digital devices, and safe digital spaces. Women need to feel safe online. We need to put safeguards in place to make sure our women are safe online, because that is why many women are restricted from going digital. So in conclusion, I think I'm on my last minute. We need to strengthen our justice systems, work with social cultural systems, expand access to finance, access to equity capital, adopt gender responsive policies, and promote digital and financial inclusion. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sola. It was amazing. It was so,
Thank you.
effective and so impactful. Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tola, how you have been working on these challenges, like which you have just mentioned, because you are working on these projects as well. So, do you think any actionable, solution you have for any of the challenge which you have personally implemented to overcome?
Um, Thank you. Um, I can't say I've overcome any of the challenges, but we continue to work on these challenges.
Mm-hmm.
For example, on access to finance, we worked with I've done work in Nigeria and in Namibia on how to
Mm-hmm.
improve access to finance for women-owned businesses. We've looked at
Right.
women who own businesses, what kind of finance do they like? How to make it easier for them to access the finance, how to make it easier for them to even use the finance. And one of the solutions we came up with were what we call business development service providers. So these are
Mm-hmm.
people who are like consultants who work with these women, help them to structure their businesses. Because a lot of it also is a lot of women businesses, they're not formal. A
Right.
lot of women have not
Mm-hmm.
formalized their businesses. They're not structured. They help them structure these businesses, formalize them, put their financial records in place, help them with their loan applications. A lot of them
All
also,
right.
work. They already have contacts in the bank, so they help them with these loan applications. I also advocate for women in STEM education. We worked with
Yes.
the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Women Affairs here in Nigeria on having on a policy on gender parity in STEM education. How do we encourage more girls to take on STEM courses and STEM subjects? So looking at the curriculum, looking at the textbooks, putting pictures of women in the textbooks. I think there's this popular riddle that people say
Yes.
that about somebody, a man and his son in an accident. When they get into the hospital, the surgeon says, "Oh, I can't operate on this boy. He's my son." And they're like, "Why? How is he? Why did the surgeon say that?" And then it turns out the surgeon is his mother. But most of us, when
I
we hear,
had this, I had this, a riddle for my presentation, and you have disclosed it.
I'm so sorry. I'm
No,
so
no, that's
sorry.
okay.
But
That's
yeah,
completely
most of us,
okay.
when we think of surgeon, we think of a man.
Yes.
Think of an engineer, you think of a man, of a scientist, even of a president, you think of a
Yes.
man. And so these are things where, some of the things we've done to try and combat these things. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Obviously, it's an ongoing process and it will keep on. According to research, it will take maybe more 115 years to, become the SDG 5 or gender equality to achieve this. So
Yeah.
this is how we all are trying and to achieve this, goal, inshallah, and we will one day. Thank you so much, Sola. It was amazing.
Very much. Thank you very much.
So, moving on to the next speaker, it's my pleasure to introduce Shaida Rahman, founder and CEO of Skilling Future. Shaida is an AI integration strategist and a former school principal with over 16 years of leadership experience. She helps schools and education systems around the world use AI ethically and effectively, turning it into a tool for leadership, learning, and empowerment, especially for girls and young women. Her work bridges vision with action, creating lasting impact in education. So please join me in welcoming Shaida Rama. Ma'am, floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sanam Hussain, for the invitation. And thank you so much for organizing a beautiful, beautiful event. And I'm really happy to be here and to meet wonderful women from around the world. Okay, so I would like to share my screen. I hope I can, Ms. Sanam.
Yeah, sure, miss.
Okay.
Okay, already.
Okay, I hope my screen is visible.
It's visible and you're audible. All good.
Okay, thank you
Yeah.
so much. Okay, I just have a little request that while I'm presenting, I hope your team might also be taking screenshots because after the session, I would like to post about this amazing session today. The event you are conducting.
We are on, on this work.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, dear. Okay. So, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone from wherever the world you are joining today's session. So, I would like to take further from where Sola has left. She was talking about digital divide, she was talking about artificial intelligence access and other issues. So, I will take my conversation from here. And so lucky said that Sola was the one who was been previously discussing. So, now it makes my talk much more easier. So when we talk about technology in education, so we usually begin in the right place, but not always in the full place. We talk about access to devices, access to connectivity, access to digital literacy, access to artificial intelligence tools. And absolutely I agree that all of this definitely matters. But today I want to suggest that access on its own is no longer enough anymore because access can help girls enter in the digital world while still leaving them with very little influence over how that digital world is built around them. A girl may learn to use artificial intelligence very well and still never be invited to ask the bigger questions like who designed the systems, what assumptions are built into it, what data set is being fed into it, what biases are there, who is benefiting from this system, who is missing from the room, and where these decisions are made. So today, I want to talk about this. So I want to
Right.
bring your attention that we have to move our conversation from access to something deeper, from access to agency, because the next era, it will not be enough for girls to be prepared to live with artificial intelligence. They must also be prepared to shape how AI lives with us. So understanding this difference is very important. So every generation inherits the technologies of its time. We have experienced this thing, but only very few people they get to decide how those technologies they shape the world. So the real question is not that whether the girls they will encounter artificial intelligence or they will only have access to it. Now that is already happening in most part of the world. The real question now is the role that they will occupy in relation to it. So will they become highly skilled users of systems designed elsewhere by someone else, or will they help decide what those systems will become, what those systems will do, and how those systems are going to influence the lives of millions and billions of women around the world? So that difference between using a technology and then shaping a technology is precisely the difference between access and agency I'm talking about. So this conversation really matters because this gap which I'm talking about is not theoretical. Alone in 2025, if we see that women made up only about 29.4% of people who have listed their AI engineering skills alone on LinkedIn. I'm just talking about LinkedIn statistics. So even as artificial intelligence has become more visible across the society, the people shaping these technologies, they do not fully reflect the society they are affecting. And that distinction really matters because the people who shape technology, they also shape opportunity, they shape influences, and they also shape those questions that these artificial technologies have been designed to answer. So that is very, very important. So let me ask you a very interesting question. How many of you have used an artificial intelligence tool in the last week? I'm sure many of you, or most of you, must have been doing, because now it's a part and parcel of our lives. Now, let me ask you another question. How many of you used artificial intelligence to build something that has solved a real world problem for someone else? Like, for example, for a classroom, for a school, or for a community? Yeah, I can see few hands, they go up. So this is the gap which I'm talking about, that it needs to be addressed. So there is a difference between, using a tool that is already available out there, uh, and using a tool sorry, so there is a difference between using a tool that is already made by others and you are just simply using it, and then a big difference to direct that tool or redesign a tool towards a meaningful impact to create some solutions. So that difference is not only about skill, so that difference is about authorship, and I will be discussing in detail about this authorship thing as well. So around the world, I see, or all of you must have also seen, that there are many programs ongoing that, okay, they're aiming at empowering girls through technology, through coding programs, through robotics club, through STEM initiatives, through AI literacy sessions, AI training sessions. A lot is happening around the world. And all of these efforts, they really matter. They are appreciable. But when we look closely, three gaps often remain unaddressed. Number one, exposure without authorship. That students, specifically I'm talking about girls, they interact with these powerful AI systems without understanding how they have been created, how they have been designed, or how they can be evaluated, or how their performance have been evaluated for biases and for other issues, for example. The second issue is skills without decision making. Students, they definitely learn, okay, how to prompt those tools and how to use those tools for getting quick answers. But rarely students, or specifically I'm talking about girls, they decide that, okay, which problem deserve their attention, which problems they can solve, which problems they should solve, and they must solve. So that is something really important that is missing. And the third aspect is third gap is participation without confidence. Access definitely opens the door, but it is the agency that gives those girls the confidence to rearrange the room once they are inside that. So bringing in that confidence is also important. The three gaps which I have talked about earlier is we can see these gaps long before the girls, they reach the artificial intelligence workforce. Globally, women represent about only 35% of STEM graduates, and this number has remained relatively stable for more than a decade as per UNESCO. So, if you want more women shaping the future of artificial intelligence, we have to look at much earlier stages, at the earlier stages when they are being educated and when they are being given education. So, at the earlier stages when we are setting expectations for ourselves and for them, for the opportunities that we are creating around them, and the confidence that education can help them to build. So, it is better to address these issues earlier. So one way to think about this shift is through a progression, a four-ladder progression or four-tier progression. Number one is access, then to develop capability, then agency, and then leadership. So while moving along the ladder, the girls or students, let's say, they can ask, or they must ask, number one, and at access stage, do I have the access to tools? Capability stage, do I know how to use those tools ethically, responsibly, and creatively? Then at the agency level, the question should get more deeper. Like, for example, can I identify the real problems? Can I question assumptions? Can I build something meaningful with what I know and what I have? And at the leadership level, the question should be, can I influence how technology is used within institutions and society? So we have to educate our girls to think bigger, to aim bigger. So if education stops at access and capability level, so what will happen? Definitely students, or like in this case, for example, girls, they will become definitely competent users. But it is the agency and leadership stages that are going to allow them to become shapers of the future. And that is precisely the aim of my talk today. So agency in the age of AI has several dimensions. Like, for example, the first one is cognitive agency. Second one I'm going to talk about is creative agency. And the third one is leadership agency. So the first agency, that is cognitive agency, it is the ability to question technology, to ask what is inside that, how it is being built, who all are being affected, and who is going to benefit from all this. So again, question. Might two speakers who have spoken earlier than me, they have emphasized this thing a lot. Questions, asking questions, inquiry, curiosity, keep that thing alive. The second is creative agency, where students, they move from consuming tools to building meaningful solutions. So in our education system, we have to bring in this thing as a part and parcel of our routine teaching learning process. And third is leadership agency. Then, because the future of artificial intelligence will not be shaped only by technical skills, it cannot be just by that. It will also be shaped by people who can communicate ideas clearly. They can ask ethical questions and they can influence decisions. So this is precisely the thing which Ms. Munazza was also referring to, that we have to, we are training our youth for the technical skills, but we need to develop these skills as well, these leadership skills, in order to bring in more female leaders. So agency begins when a girl, she'll stop asking only for answers from these AI tools, and she's going to begin imagining solutions. So when the goal will shift from the shortcut answers to meaningful and valuable contribution. So that shift is required. Okay, so how do we build this kind of agency, or how we are going to shift the scenario? So I believe that education needs three shifts. They are very, very important. The first one is problem driven learning. Students, specifically girls, should not only learn tools, they should use those tools to respond to real problems in their communities, involve and engage them in such projects, such research projects where they can go outside, they can dig, they can explore, and they can use their brains and minds, how they can be beneficial and they can be productive in solving those problems. The second is visible leadership models. So girls need to see women, successful women who are designing technology, leading research, and who are shaping innovation and influencing the future. So those role models, it is very much important to get young girls connected to those role models, to make them visible, to seek inspiration and seek guidance from them as well. So that representation is going to expand what feels possible. And third one is definitely the most important, which I feel is ethical thinking early. So any innovation that is not bound by ethics, I think that is useless. So it is not just a warning that, okay, ethics should be there and all that, or it should be something an afterthought of after innovating any tool. It should be a part and parcel from the very beginning, at the ideation stage, while you are doing design thinking and all those steps. So at the very beginning, ideation stage, ethics and morals should be a part and parcel of the entire innovation process. Then, one of the most powerful questions a young girl can learn today is not only that what that tool can do, but also what should be built, for whom it should be built, and at what cost. At the cost of compromising ethics, at the cost of compromising morals, at the cost of what. So it should be, and I'm not just talking about the financial cost, but I'm also talking about the other costs that are involved. So you have to be mindful about that. So these questions, they can help transform technical learning into responsible leadership. And as Sola has very well said, that till the time 50% of the world population, they will not be actively participating in all these things or developing systems that are shaping the world, their voices will be missed. So that is very important. So artificial intelligence, as we know, that has already influenced every part of our society, whether it is education, healthcare, media, employment, public services, private services, so on and so forth. So this conversation is not only about innovation, so it is also about participation, power, and their equal voices. If girls are trained only to use artificial intelligence systems effectively, they might become highly adaptable, or we can say, okay, they are skilled at using these tools, but adaptation is obviously not the same as authorship we are talking about.
Shahida,
Sorry.
really sorry to interrupt you, but you have to cut this short
Just I have
to save the time.
just one more minute. Just one more.
Okay, okay, okay.
Thank you so much. So the future requires a broader participation in shaping the technology itself. So before I close, I want to leave you with one final question. So what do you imagine that when today's girl they enter universities or startups or research labs and leadership spaces in future, will they mostly be adapting to systems designed by others? Do you want this? Or you want that they should be leading the teams designing those systems, because obviously that question does not it should not begin in the workplace. It should rightly begin in the education system which they're receiving. So the future of artificial intelligence is not only a technical question, it is an educational question, it is a social question, it is an ethical question, and very, very clearly a leadership question. If education teaches girls only to use artificial intelligence systems, they will live inside those systems shaped by other people's decision. But if education is going to help them question technology, build with it, lead with it, something very different is possible, something very inclusive is possible. So not just living with these systems, but having influence over them. So that is the message of my today's session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining and giving us your precious time. So it was good to have you.
Assalamu alaikum.
I think we have few questions if we can take it in 30 seconds or 60 seconds, because while even Shaida was delivering, there were so many hand raised. One or two question we can maybe take.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, any one of you who is like
Ma'am, there is Mobina.
Mubina. Okay,
Uh-huh.
Mubina, if you want, you can just open your mic and ask. Yes, we can take few questions.
Thank you so much, Shahida. I truly appreciate your efforts in context with the skilling future. You are playing a very pivotal role in uplifting the women, the girls, through your insight, through your knowledge. I truly appreciate you. More power to you. My question related to your stance on the women empowerment. We are living in a society where there are so many barriers. So what do you think that in the conservative mindset where we limit the girl's voice and the opportunities, how we can ensure that in our government schools they move beyond simply providing the access to education and truly cultivate the three agencies that you have mentioned, the cognitive, the creative, and the third one is leadership in girls, so that they can come up with the with as a confident uh, strata of the society, and they are well equipped themselves with the barriers, and they can lead the change in themselves. So
Thank you so much, Mubina, for the kind words and a very valid question. Again, I believe that number one thing is parents also need to be educated. Parents also need to be taken on board, especially mothers, whether they're working, they're not working. There should be awareness sessions for them. Also, I would like to talk about the leadership of schools, the school principal, the top leadership. they must be trained, they must be, given the awareness session, their minds must be opened up. So the first, these three things which I have talked about, the cognitive agency and creative agency and leadership agency, first of all, these must be developed in the leadership of schools and in the teachers. Only then, once they will have their open mindset, only then they are going to, cascade that thing among the young girls. So that is very important. The first thing is open the fixed mindset. Then things will move
Thank
on.
you so much. Thank you so much. Now we are moving towards our last speaker because we have so many questions, but yes, we are running short of time, so we cannot take. But obviously, we have shared the LinkedIn links of all the speakers with all of you. You may connect with them, you can ask them, and you can learn from them. Yes. Yes. Please continue.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is Hypnotist Mavish. I'm a dietitian, psychotherapist, and a hypnotherapist. It's my pleasure to introduce Afreen Khan, a passionate educator and a mentor dedicated empowering young through education and innovation. She currently serves as Senior Program Manager at Amal Academy, where she leads the transformative learning program that prepare individuals for career and personal growth. Afreen also mentor educators and changemaker through United Nations Global School Program, supporting initiative that advance sustainability development communities. As a Microsoft innovator educator with over 4 years of experience, she actively leveraged technology to promote inclusive and future-ready education. Please join me in welcoming Afreen Khan.
Thank you so much, Mehvish. Thank you, Sanam, and thank you everybody for the warm welcome. It's a great pleasure to hear different insights from various speakers and to share the same platform where we are united for the same thought, that how to empower women and how to see the role of sustainability in the future. I'll quickly start if I have the permission to share the screen. Okay, yes, I do. Yeah. Is my screen visible? Can I just have, yeah, all right, great.
Okay.
So let's start. Mehvish, can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am, we
Yes,
can
it's
see you.
visible. It's visible.
All right, thank you. So, once again, good morning and good afternoon to everybody. As this is an ongoing celebration for Women's Day, we are, like reminded yet every time that empowerment is just not only about individual success. Um,
Yes.
it is about collective progress through unity. And when we like talk about the future, one group stands at the center of like global transformation, which is you, the youth, right? And if I have to quote here, that according to United Nations, there are currently about 1.2 billion young people aged between 15 to 24 worldwide, representing nearly 16% of the global population. Now, if we extend the age group slightly, there are approximately 1.9 billion young people between the age bracket of 10 and 24, making it the largest generation in history. And these are some of the great findings, and these are some of the great figures, shared. And this means something profound. Now, the future will not be shaped by just a few leaders in probably the boardrooms or political offices. It will be shaped by millions of young people leaders across classrooms that matter. Now, but leadership, it requires more than just enthusiasm. It requires skills and just about this platform where for better cause and promoting better sustainability ahead, opportunities, agencies, that's where we need to encash. That's where we need to build ourselves and our profiles and our portfolios. Now, one of the most powerful ideas in modern education is youth led education, which emphasizes agency, it emphasizes voices and choices, allowing the youth to actively participate in their learning and in social and in solving real world problems as well. I mean, just pick up any niche problem from the society and try to at least think out of the box at how you can probably solve it, how you can bring a change towards it. What if that problem bothers you? Yes, that is one niche where you can pick it up. Now, this approach closely aligns with SDG 4, which is quality education, and it highlights the importance of education and how communities are thriving, how the worlds are progressing, and they're making sustainable impact, not in the classroom, but beyond classrooms, in the communities. It's like a trickle down effect, because if one person is doing it today, you may in some way or the other you're going to inspire the other person sitting next to you. And yes, people notice, definitely they notice. And this is how positive energy is extremely contagious when you're working towards a positive society. Instead of thinking that how we can bring that change, we can definitely think around the lines that, okay, if this totally resonates with the youth today, how we can be the torch bearers, how we can promote critical thinking, problem solving abilities, lifelong learning, and relevance to real world challenges. Because education is no longer only about memorizing information, right? It is about preparing young people to lead, innovate, and respond to global challenges, because the world now needs people, the youth, who can actively contribute towards the global challenges that lie ahead of us. Again, reiterating this, that education does not exist in isolation. It never does. And in fact, if I have to quote this again, that education is like deeply connected to many global challenges and developmental goals. According to one of the framework of the United Nations Sustainable Goals, education contributes directly to multiple global priorities. And what are those priorities? It's about SDG 1, which is no poverty. It's about good health and well being. So when the youth receive quality education, it is directly empowering towards better equipped to address poverty, to improve health outcomes, to advocate for gender equality, and to contribute to sustainable environmental practices. Now, education therefore becomes not just like a personal opportunity, but a powerful tool for global transformation. And this is the mere focus and to drive social and economic impact for youth leadership. And this is the time that we all need to stand up united and to be focused towards one common goal that we all should strive for. Because youth leadership, it contributes to both the aspects, socially as well, and for economic development as well. If you have to see from a social perspective and from that lens, education for youth is all about inclusion, it's all about citizenship, it's all about ethics. I was listening to other speakers as well. They all have been talking about those skills that are needed, that you need to be equipped with. AI, this is the talk of the town, and in the future, just know that it's not going to replace human, but you need to be more empowered to tackle it, to channelize it, to challenge it, and to better master the art that it has to offer. And the youth can today contribute who develop these values towards, functioning it towards the leaders who prioritize equity and social justice. So at the same time, education contributes significantly to economic development by building employability at the same time and innovation. Um, this research consistently shows that each additional year of schooling can increase individuals' earning potential by up to 10% globally. So, why the youth should sit back and suffer in silos rather than empower yourself with one skill or two skills that's going to help you way forward within 5 to 10 years time. So for everyone out here, plan effectively, lead effectively, because that's what the world is requiring from you, to be future ready, to be future equipped with these skills. I want to highlight one skill here which effectively, covers the aspect that yeah which effectively covers the aspect of example, like youth innovators in many developing regions, they have created low cost solar lamp initiatives. What does that mean? It means that people who are underprivileged, who cannot afford the basic necessities, they are striving, they are looking for solutions to provide sustainable lighting for communities without electricity. Now, this initiative addresses multiple issues at once. You can see that it is accessing to energy, education opportunities for younger students, and environmental sustainability. This is what the skill that we are talking about. You have to pick up one niche, drive towards it, and think beyond it. Develop critical thinking, develop your critical thinking muscle, your analytical muscle, which transform ideas into impactful action. Digital literacy is one of them, and empathy, emotional intelligence. I believe we all are so focused towards building ourselves into impactful leaders, but are we human enough? Are we are we empathetic enough that allows us to build trust, to resolve conflicts, and to inspire collaboration? Again, without collaboration and without global citizenship, this all is all in vain. Perhaps the most important leadership skill today is collaboration, and young leaders, you all, the youth, must learn to work across cultures and disciplines, embracing the idea that we are all part of a shared global community. And I think this is like a high time that we focus and talk towards these important aspects of the society. Um, Around the world, young people are already putting leadership into practice. And we all are in the same boat. We just need to um, make sure that we are doing enough. Examples of certain youth driven initiatives, which includes, like, student led climate awareness campaigns. You can collaborate, you can be a part of campaigns running across globally, peer mentoring and community education programs, and a lot of other projects which inspires you, which affects you, and you think that, oh, this is my problem, I also feel the same. So these initiatives show that when young voices are given the opportunity, they become powerful agents of change. And that is what this platform is also equipping you with. So, youth leadership is not a theoretical aspect, it is already transforming communities. Let me conclude with a very powerful message here. Educate the youth and empower the future. And if we together provide each other, and when we talk about each other, I'm talking about the youth here, with quality education, leadership opportunities, and future ready skills, they will not only shape their own futures, they will reshape our world. And when young women and men, they lead together in unity, they create societies that are more inclusive, innovative, and sustainable. So, as the global series at this platform is under the commitment and under the solidarity of Women's Day, let us commit together to empower the next generation of leaders, because the future of our world will depend on the youth we empower today. So that's all from my end. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your precious time and for giving your minutes to hear. And on the behalf of Yes We Can Women Venture, I would like to say thank you, and we are very grateful to have you. So, if anyone have any kind of a question, they can ask. Anyone who have any kind of a question? I think no one have any kind of a question. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here, and it was good to hear from you as always. So, moving on to the closing of this week two of International Women's Day Conference series, I would like to invite Ma'am Sanam Hussain, the visionary behind Yes You Can Global Foundation and Women Venture. It's my pleasure to introduce the visionary behind Yes You Can Global Foundation, Ms. Sanam Hussain. She is a purpose-driven leader with over 20 years of dynamic professional experience whose journey is rooted in resilience, courage, and transformation. She is the first female in seven generations of her family to break barriers and pursue higher education, turning challenges into conviction and limitation into leadership. Having personally experienced obstacles in accessing education and opportunity, she transformed her journey into a lifelong mission to empower minds, unlock potential, and create access to knowledge and opportunities for all. Her work reflects a deep commitment to social impact, inclusion, and sustainable change. She is an awardee
Zainab,
of
keep it
Women of
short,
Impact
please.
and Giving
Zainab,
Back
keep
Group.
it short, please. We don't have much time. We have only 4 minutes. Yes.
It's too much long. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
it's
That's
I
all
think
right.
no need of
That's
introduction. Yeah.
okay.
Thank you
So
so
she
much.
strongly
Thank you.
believes. Okay, okay. So, ma'am,
Yes.
you should continue
Let
for
me thank
closing.
to everyone who has joined us today for a week due to because obviously it's Ramadan and we all are fasting. So इससे ज़्यादा I don't think so that they can take us. Already I have started receiving messages that ma'am now like it's too much 2 hours, but I don't think so because even when you learn it's इबादत. It's like you are learning ना, इल्म हासिल करना भी तो इबादत है और आप अगर उसको इस इंटेंशन से करते हैं तो like when you are learning something even you are making it the part of your fast. तो और दूसरा ये है कि I don't think so that 2 hours are like enough for this kind of discussion. So like once you are joining, I don't know, it's about me, like when I start learning or when I start listening to these beautiful and the global and visionary leaders, I like feel happy and feel peaceful कि चलो यार इतना सारा कुछ इतने सारे लोगों से सीखने को मिल रहा है. See how they are working, how they are putting their effort. तो रोजा तो हम सब का है बिकॉज अभी इतने सारे मैसेजेस आए कि मैम वी आर फास्टिंग. भाई वी आर ऑल्सो फास्टिंग, दे आर ऑल्सो फास्टिंग. तो आप लोग तो सिर्फ सुन रहे हो, ये तो बात कह रहे हैं. तो हैव सम पेशेंस, लाइक आप लोग वंस लाइक वी गिव दिस मैसेज टू आवर माइंड लाइक यस वी आर हियर फॉर 2 आवर्स, और ये पूरे हफ्ते आपको बताया जाता है कि वी विल बी यू विल बी हियर फॉर 2 आवर्स. तो एटलीस्ट अपने माइंड को मैसेज दीजिए कि यस वी विल बी हियर फॉर 2 आवर्स और हमें ये सुनना है, हमें ये सीखना है. डोंट टेक इट एज अ बर्डन, है ना. तो फिर वो बर्डन फील होना शुरू हो जाता है कि नहीं ये पता नहीं क्यों हमें इतना टाइम लग रहा है. तो एक बार अपने आप को आपने मैसेज दे दिया कि नहीं जी वी विल बी हियर एंड वी आर हियर टू लर्न. तो फिर वो इजी हो जाता है. So again, once again, thank you so much everyone for joining the week 2 of IWD conference series for the month of March. और इसको सीरीज रखा ही इसलिए गया है, और दिस इज व्हाट इवन आई एम प्लानिंग कि ये शायद एक मंथ का ना हो, शायद ये हमेशा का ही हो, पार्ट ऑफ वुमेन वेंचर. क्योंकि खवातीन को जो है ना वो अपग्रेड और होते रहना चाहिए. हमें जो ग्लोबल ट्रेंड्स चल रहे हैं, जो मतलब ऑल दो फिंगर टिप्स पे है हमारी इंफॉर्मेशन, बट स्टिल व्हेन वी लिसन और वी लर्न फ्रॉम द ग्लोबल लीडर्स और मेंटोर्स और द स्पीकर्स जो खुद इस पर काम कर रहे हैं, तो दिस इज समथिंग वेरी ऑथेंटिक, और हमें एक फर्स्ट हैंड जो इंफॉर्मेशन है वो हमें मिल रही होती है. सो आई थिंक इट्स अ काइंड ऑफ ब्लेसिंग कि हमें ये सारी चीजें हमारे ही लिए, फॉर फीमेल्स बेसिकली, फॉर वुमेन, वी आर लर्निंग ऑल दीज थिंग्स. तो सपोर्ट ईच अदर. और the purpose of women venture, again, we have started this platform to empower those females who are basically the mentors, the speakers, or belong to any of the industry or any profession. They themselves like are the you can say the promoter of anything, or they have any product. We are there to help you, to support you, to give you a platform, to make you shine. In fact, like you can say, we are there because, as I always mention, something we learn from the books and something we learn from the experiences is entirely different. So in my case, I have not learned anything, I mean the self leadership, not from the books, but from my own experiences and the hurdles and the challenges. ये जब हम किसी भी चैलेंज की बात कर रहे होते हैं तो पर्सनली आई अज्यूम ऑन माई सेल्फ ना, तो वो कितना मुश्किल होता है एक बात करना कि लाइक वो इट्स नॉट अ रिवॉर्ड कि शी इज फर्स्ट इन 7 जनरेशन. नो, इट्स अ वॉर. मतलब वो बैकएंड पे बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं, बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस होते हैं, ट्रस्ट मी. तो वो जब आप उसको लेकर के आते हैं और वो सारे एक्सपीरियंसेस से गुजरते हैं, तो देन यू रियलाइज कि फॉर अ फीमेल हाउ चैलेंजिंग इट इज. अब हम जितनी भी बात करते हैं ना, जेंडर SDG 5, क्वालिटी एजुकेशन और इकोनॉमिकल डेवलपमेंट, तो वो सिर्फ फाइनेंशियल और एनवायरमेंटल चैलेंजेस नहीं होते, वो साइकोलॉजिकल चेंजेस भी होती हैं, चैलेंजेस होते हैं, नॉट चेंजेस होती हैं बल्कि चैलेंजेस होते हैं. सो वंस वी cope up with all these challenges, then you come to know how difficult it is basically to overcome at the same time so many issues, so many challenges, and then come out of that comfort zone. और ये सारी चीजें जो हैं वो हमारी, आई बिलीव कि ये जो अभी हमारा टॉपिक था, आई कुड नॉट मेक इट टुडे, इनर गवर्नेंस, जिस पे आज हमें बात भी करनी थी. एंड आई ऑलवेज टॉक अबाउट द inner leadership, self leadership, because until unless a female is not taking her responsibility, so I think it won't be easier for her to survive in this world. हमें बहैसियत खातून जो हमारा स्टेटस है, जो हमारे मजहब ने हमें दिया है, वो हमें ओन करना चाहिए. वी शुड टेक इट एज अ ब्लेसिंग, एंड वी शुड टेक इट एज अ बाउंटी कि जी हम खातून जो है, वी फीमेल्स आर द इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट ऑफ दिस सोसाइटी. वो किस तरह से? क्योंकि दिस स्टेटस इज गिवन बाय द क्रिएटर, ये हमें किसी और ने नहीं दिया. वंस वी एक्सेप्ट आवर सेल्फ, वन वी रिस्पेक्ट आवर सेल्फ, वंस वी वैल्यू आवर सेल्फ, तो वो सारे जो एक्सटर्नल चैलेंजेस हैं उससे लड़ने की हिम्मत आती है. और वो जो इंटरनल सारे जो हमारे क्वेश्चंस उठते हैं ना, उनको हम बहुत अच्छे से फिर जवाब दे सकते हैं. और ना सिर्फ जवाब दे सकते हैं बल्कि उसको फिर लीड भी करते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि बिकॉज आई एम ऑल्सो द ह्यूमन बींग, नॉट अ वुमन ओनली. आई एम अ ह्यूमन बींग, एंड आई ऑलवेज से लकद खलकनल इंसाना फी अहसन तकवीम. हम इंसान हैं, जेंडर्स बाद में आते हैं ना. बिफोर दैट वी आर ह्यूमन, वी ऑल आर ह्यूमन. और हम खुदा की सबसे बेहतरीन मखलूक हैं. वी आर द बेस्ट क्रिएशन ऑफ द बेस्ट क्रिएटर. आप देख लीजिए हमारे पास जो बेहतरीन किताब है उसमें खवातीन का क्या स्टेटस है. तो जब वंस वी नो आवर वैल्यू, वंस वी नो आवर स्टेटस इन द आईज ऑफ द क्रिएटर, तो बिल्कुल हमें फिर पता चल जाता है कि जी अब जो इंटरनल क्वेश्चंस है ना, व्हेन वी कम फ्रॉम आउट ऑफ दीज चैलेंजेस, तो वो जो फिर एक्सटर्नल वर्ल्ड होती है, जो एक्सटर्नल चैलेंजेस होते हैं, तो अंदर से फिर आवाज आना शुरू होती है, नहीं नहीं अभी नहीं, नो, यू नीड टू बी परफेक्ट, अभी रुक जाओ, अभी ठहर जाओ, दिस इज नॉट द राइट टाइम। उन सवालात को जवाब देने का फिर वक्त आता है, और ये इसलिए आता है क्योंकि हम उन सब चीज़ों को फेस कर चुके होते हैं। तो इट्स नॉट समथिंग यू कैन से कि बहुत ही कोई मुश्किल चीज़ है। बहुत मुश्किल भी है और बहुत आसान हम बना सकते हैं अपने लिए भी और दूसरी फीमेल्स के लिए भी, दूसरी खवातीन के लिए भी, जस्ट टू सपोर्ट देम बाय सपोर्टिंग देम। यू नो, सपोर्ट किस तरह से, किसी भी अंदाज में हो सकती है। इट कैन बी लाइक गिविंग देम प्लेटफॉर्म, इट कैन बी लाइक प्रमोटिंग देम, इट कैन बी लाइक गिव टेकिंग देम ऑन बोर्ड, which is directly associated or directly connected with ISR, as we always say, individual social responsibility. We all are the part of this society, we all are the part of this community, we all are the part of this universe. When you fulfill your ISR, individual social responsibility, actually directly or indirectly you are contributing to make this world a better place. आप अपनी जिम्मेदारी पूरी करो, ये सिर्फ एनजीओज और गवर्नमेंट की जिम्मेदारी नहीं है, ये हम सबकी जिम्मेदारी है कि हम अपने तई अपनी ISR, इंडिविजुअल सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, इन एनी वे। वो कहते हैं ना, अगर आप कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते किसी के लिए तो कम से कम दुआ कर दीजिए, या एक आप मुस्कुराहट से भी जो है ना वो सदका जारिया कर सकते हैं। द सेम वे, व्हेन यू फुलफिल योर इंडिविजुअल सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, अपने उस पूरी जो एक टफ रूटीन है, चैलेंजेस हैं, अपनी सारी चीजें हैं, उससे हटकर जब आप कुछ वापस दे रहे होते हो सोसाइटी को, विदाउट एक्सपेक्टिंग एनीथिंग इन रिटर्न, without expecting anything in return, because they all, the speakers and the leaders who are joining us from around the world, they all are busy. ऐसा नहीं है कि वो फारिग बैठे हैं, they all are busy, they have their job, they have their work, they have their families. But still, if they are taking out some time for us, it means they are willing to pay back to the society without anything in return. So we are very much thankful to them that they are with us and they are sharing their knowledge, they are sharing their, efforts. See, they are making presentations, they are sharing, they are giving us time. So we are thankful to them actually. And each one of us should take this responsibility by their own. कि हम यहाँ नहीं, इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे नहीं, किसी भी प्लेटफॉर्म पे, किसी भी अंदाज में, क्योंकि हमारा जो एक प्रोजेक्ट है, जो हम अपने पार्टिसिपेंट्स के साथ, अपने जितने भी है हमारे एलुमनाइज हैं, ईच वन टीच वन, मतलब हर एक जो भी सीखता है वो किसी और को सिखा दीजिए, तो वो मल्टीप्लायर इफेक्ट आना शुरू हो जाता है. सो ईच वन ऑफ यू टीच. आई नो इट्स टेकिंग सो मच टाइम, बट नाउ वी आर डन. मैंने इतनी देर से बात नहीं की ना, खामोश बैठी थी, तो आई थॉट आई शुड ऑल्सो स्पीक अबाउट इट. बोलना जरूरी है. ठीक है जी, तो सो थैंक यू सो मच एवरीवन. गेट रेडी फॉर वीक 3 एंड इंशाल्लाह वी विल बी learning from more global leaders and speakers, and I believe it will add value in your life. उसको implement भी कीजिए. The most important thing is whatever you are learning, spread it, teach to others and implement it. Practically जब तक नहीं करेंगे तब तक कुछ नहीं होगा. Trust me, हम कितनी ही gender equality की बात कर लें, until unless we females don't take the charge of ourselves, सिर्फ एक्सटर्नल चैलेंजेस के लिए नहीं बल्कि इंटरनल चैलेंजेस के लिए भी, जो कि हम अंदर से अपने लिए फाइट कर रहे होते हैं और उसमें हमारा कोई फॉल्ट नहीं होता. आई नो, बिकॉज दीज आर गिवन बाय आवर सोसाइटी, बाय आवर फैमिली, बाय आवर एजुकेशनल सिस्टम्स, बाय आवर एनवायरमेंट. तो कुछ चीजें हम फीमेल्स में इनबिल्ट हो जाती हैं और हमें पता भी नहीं चलता कि हम कब उस सिस्टम का हिस्सा बन जाते हैं. तो वो माइंडसेट और वो बिलीफ जो होते हैं वो हमें बहुत टफ टाइम देते हैं, और वो सिर्फ हम खुद ही डिसॉल्व कर सकते हैं. वंस वी टेक आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, वंस वी टेक आवर चार्ज, तो हम वो खुद ही डिसॉल्व करेंगे. कैसे होंगे? जब हम अपना कंफर्ट जोन से बाहर आएंगे और उसको फेस करना स्टार्ट कर देंगे, और अपना अगर कोई इंटरनल क्रिटिक सामने आता है तो उसको हम शट अप कॉल दे सकें कि नहीं, यू जस्ट कीप क्वाइट, इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट, लेट्स डू इट. और फिर होता है. सो व्हेन आई ऑलवेज थिंक अबाउट माई सेल्फ, यानी कि ये कोई इसमें मैं आप लोगों को इसलिए नहीं बता रही हूँ, एक्चुअली इसलिए बता रही हूँ कि मैंने खुद किया है, मैंने खुद उस चीज़ को फेस किया है कि व्हेन somebody or any female doesn't have any inspiration, any reward, any expectation, एनी क्या कहते हैं उसको, कि हमारा कोई रोल मॉडल है ना, कोई भी ना हो, और उसके बाद भी आप कुछ करना चाहें, तो ये इस बात का सबूत होता है, ये प्रूफ है इस चीज का, कि हम इंटरनली हमारे अंदर एक गाइडेंस मौजूद होती है, और उसमें हमारा कोई कमाल नहीं है। इट्स गिवन बाय अल्लाह, इट्स गिवन बाय आवर क्रिएटर। तो वो जो इंटरनल गाइडेंस है, लेकिन उसके लिए सिर्फ एक चीज चाहिए होती है, लिसन टू योर सेल्फ, connect with yourself. When you connect with yourself, then you listen to yourself, and when you listen to yourself, then you start doing something which is out of comfort zone. और उसमें आपके पास कुछ नहीं होता। आई मीन विद दिस लाइफ, विद टिल दिस एज, फ्रॉम माई फैमिली, फ्रॉम माई everyone whoever is in my circle, the close relations, I never get appreciation, I never get any reward, I never get any kind of thumbs up from them, because they have nothing to do with it. क्यों? क्योंकि मतलब अकॉर्डिंग टू देम आई हैव डन समथिंग वेरी बैड, क्योंकि हमने वो जो बैरियर्स ब्रेक किए, या वो जो एक आजकल के अगर हम मॉडर्न वर्ड्स में बात करें, तो वो जो ग्लास सीलिंग है, और वो जो एक जेंडर के लिए हमने जो एक फिक्स प्रोटोकॉल्स बनाए हुए होते हैं ना, कि आई मीन इट्स नॉट अलाउड एट ऑल। अगर आप उनके अगेंस्ट, आई मीन फॉर देम इट्स गोइंग अगेंस्ट टू देम, बट फॉर मी, क्योंकि मुझे पता था कि लाइक आई नीड टू डू इट। क्यों करना है? क्योंकि आई एम अ इंडिविजुअल बीइंग, आई एम एन इंडिविजुअल बीइंग, आई एम द बेस्ट क्रिएशन ऑफ द बेस्ट क्रिएटर। आई ऑलवेज से कि जैसे एक इमाम का कौल भी है कि खुदा ने हमें फना के लिए नहीं, बका के लिए पैदा किया है। मतलब मैं ऐसे ही आऊं, और हमारा ये सफर सिर्फ जिंदगी और मौत के बीच का तो नहीं है, लाइक वी आर बॉर्न टू डाई। नो, वी आर नॉट बॉर्न टू डाई ओनली, वी आर हियर टू लीव अ लेगेसी। हम सिर्फ मरने के लिए नहीं पैदा हुए हैं। हम में से मुराद सिर्फ मर्द हजरात नहीं है, लाइक एवरी जेंडर, फीमेल्स ऑल्सो। तो मेरे लिए तो ये बड़ा वो होता था कि हैं ये क्या हो गया, ऐसे ही बस अभी ऐसे ही रहना होगा। लाइक व्हेन आई वाज आस्क्ड नॉट टू कंटिन्यू माय स्टडी राइट आफ्टर माय मैट्रिकुलेशन, तो मैंने कहा बस जिंदगी खत्म हो गई, इज इट ओवर, अब इससे आगे कुछ भी नहीं है। देन आई वाज सेड नो, इट्स ओवर, आई मीन वी डोंट गो बियॉन्ड दिस। तो मैंने कहा नहीं, ऐसे कैसे। और उस वक्त तब आप जब एक्शन लेते हैं ना, जब आप स्टैंड लेते हैं, और शायद उस वक्त आप स्टैंड लेते हैं जब आप खुद भी इतने स्ट्रांग नहीं होते, और आपको शायद वे आउट भी नहीं पता होता, ट्रस्ट मी। लेकिन आपको सिर्फ एक चीज पता होती है, मुझे करना है, एंड आई मीन इट, आई मीन इट एंड आई विल डू इट। और फिर आप करते हैं, तो फिर वंस यू टेक द डिसीजन, वो कहते हैं ना, अकेले ही चले थे मंजिल की जानिब, कारवां बनता गया। तो बस इसी तरह हम सबको, मैं अपनी बात नहीं कर रही, सिर्फ हम सब जितने भी लोग यहाँ मौजूद हैं, हम कितने ही अभी एडवांस हो जाएं, कितने ही एआई में आ जाएं, बट बीइंग फीमेल्स, और दुनिया का ये, मैंने एक बार, हमारी एक रिपोर्ट बनी थी लास्ट टू लास्ट ईयर, खवातीन के आलमी दिन, यानी 8 मार्च पे, इंटरनेशनल वुमेन्स डे पे, उसमें यही बात कही थी हमने कि खवातीन का जो मसला है ना, वो कौमी मसला नहीं है, वो आलमी मसला है। आप देख लीजिए ना, खवातीन का जो है वो आलमी दिन है, और हमारे मसले भी आलमी है, तो हम अकेले नहीं है उस जंग में। ये हमारा आलमी मसला है, ये चाहे हमारी मशरकी खवातीन हो, चाहे मगरबी खवातीन हो, उन सबको यही चैलेंजेस है। उनके शायद डायनामिक्स चेंज हो जाते हैं, बट प्रॉब्लम्स यही है खवातीन की, हमेशा हर जगह पे। वो जेंडर इक्वालिटी, वो इट्स लाइक फॉर इंटरनेशनल वुमेन ना, सबके लिए है वो, तो वो इनइक्वालिटी हर जगह है। तो लेकिन हर जगह वो चैलेंज तो है, लेकिन हम सब खवातीन के अलग अलग चैलेंजेस हैं, है ना, क्योंकि हम सब, अगेन वी आर द पार्ट ऑफ दिस सोसाइटी। तो जब हम उसी का हिस्सा हैं, तो हमारे चैलेंजेस भी वही हैं, और जब चैलेंजेस वही हैं, तो हमारे जो सॉल्यूशंस हैं ना, वही हैं। स्टार्ट सर्चिंग योर सॉल्यूशन फ्रॉम इनसाइड। अब जो आउटर साइड वाले चैलेंजेस है ना, उसके लिए दुनिया फाइट कर रही है, वो हमारे लिए सब आवाज उठा रहे हैं, हम सब उस पर काम कर रहे हैं, मिल करके काम करें, एंड इट्स टाइम टेकिंग, है ना, एट लार्ज ये बहुत टाइम टेकिंग है। बट यस, जो हमारे अंदर के चैलेंजेस हैं, उसके लिए हमें खुद ही उठना है ना। विन इन योर माइंड एंड यू विल विन इन योर रियलिटी। तो दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि आप अपने अंदर अपने लिए जो है ना, अपना क्या कहते हैं उसको, स्टैंड लेना शुरू कीजिए, और अपना चार्ज ले लीजिए। टेक योर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इन अ सिंपल वर्ड, take your responsibility, and you will start taking the you can say कि आप अपना एक बार challenge अपना responsibility ले लेंगे, and then you will see, you will start making the impact, you will start inspiring others. उसके लिए आपको कुछ अलग से effort नहीं करना पड़ेगी. People will start feeling comfortable, and they will start feeling something, some energy besides you. Trust me. So this is how the things are going on. Or thank you once again. Take care of yourself, and thank you listening to me again once again. ये बहुत अच्छा रहता है आप लोगों से बात करना, और हम फिर इंशाल्लाह दोबारा लाइक ऑन संडे, बट माइट बी टाइम थोड़ा सा हम चेंज कर दें, क्योंकि रमज़ान की वजह से हमने ये टाइम रखा था, ताकि ज़ाहिर है कि पाकिस्तान में इस वक्त काफ़ी ज़्यादा टाइम हो गया होगा, 4:15 हो गए होंगे, तो आप लोगों को फिर अफ्तारी में भी मुश्किल ना हो. Thank you, everyone. Take care of yourself. And thank you so much, my dearest team members, everyone, each one of you. Thank you so much for taking care of everything. Stay blessed always. Thank you so much. अटेंडेंस के बगैर बिल्कुल गुजारा नहीं है, इसलिए बार बार अटेंडेंस शेयर की गई थी, तो अटेंडेंस लाजमी लगा लीजिएगा अपनी, ताकि वो एक प्रूफ होता है, वरना फिर बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है. सो प्लीज मार्क योर अटेंडेंस. जिसकी अटेंडेंस नहीं होगी इस बार, उसको सर्टिफिकेट नहीं मिलेगा. ऑल्दो इट्स जस्ट अ पीस ऑफ प्रूफ, बट स्टिल यू नीड टू टेक केयर ऑफ द रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन प्लीज. तो अभी है ना आप मौजूद गुलशन, आप अभी मार्क कर लीजिए अपनी अटेंडेंस. लेट मी शेयर दी अटेंडेंस फॉर्म अगेन. है यू गो. अब जो रह गए हैं वो अभी अपनी अटेंडेंस मार्क कर लें. मैंने आपको ये शेयर कर दिया है, ये लीजिए, दोबारा से शेयर कर देती हूँ, अभी कर लीजिए. लाइट चली गई थी, कोई मसला नहीं है. यू कैन मार्क नाउ. ठीक है जी. Yes, exactly. I'm just reading your messages, Sumbul, and everyone who has. Yes, very nice, Madhya. Thank you so much, Madhya. You are with us. When what you go through, you grow through. Very nice. बहुत जबरदस्त. Thank you, ji. Thank you, everyone. Zainab, are you with us? Mavish?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
मुझे किसी ने थैंक यू ही नहीं बोला.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here. आपका slot मैंने ले लिया था starting में, but आपको last में timing मिल गई.
बिल्कुल सही है, वो पूरा होना चाहिए ना, डोज पूरा होना चाहिए, उसमें
हाँ,
कमी नहीं रहनी चाहिए.
it
बिल्कुल
was
ठीक है.
perfect one.
बिल्कुल ठीक है. सो आई थिंक एवरीवन हैज मार्क द अटेंडेंस, तो फिर हम मीटिंग एंड कर देते हैं. जस्ट वन मोर मिनट. लेट द मार्क द अटेंडेंस, ताकि किसी की अटेंडेंस